you really don't know which requirement is not being mapped onto a test case if there is a defect. A lot of decision making on to launch or not to launch is taken by the CTO, although I think the QA team should have a stake on the table over there. Testing teams have always been understaffed, underserved, under-resourced. And I think with AI, the same team can create an output of like double the output. So.
Okay, Khurram, like you have been in the quality assurance industry for 15 years, consulting part. And then that is why until recent 5 years, you built a product as well. Can you tell me about this?
So the product we built was primarily from this concept that we are doing consulting and we are doing testing for customers and we are seeing what kind of products are out there in the market. And my gut feeling was that there is a space for another type of product which is more geared towards 2-3 factors. One is a great experience for the end user. It offers great integrations with other existing systems which are used by developers. And then more importantly, what is the value that we offer through the end customer, right? And value is a function of how much money are you paying for the Y amount of stuff that can be done on the product, or the X amount of time that can be saved by using the product, etc., etc. So that's how the value narrative is mostly. And what I saw as a pain point was that a lot of these products were not even being used because they were extremely expensive and customers were not willing to spend that much amount of money on these products. So a lot of people were using Excel files, to run their testing activities. You will be surprised to see a lot of financial institutions who have a lot more complex systems in place. They also use Excel files to manage their testing activities, right? Which doesn't give you any traceability. You really don't know which requirement is not being mapped onto a test case, and then hence if there is a defect, then what defect is caused by which requirement, and then how many requirements are not even tested because of that. So a lot of this traceability factor is missing in that Excel file structure.
So your product, can I understand it's a project management product, or?
It's a complete test process management product, and it offers you complete comprehensive kind of an insight into, let's say, the quality of your project as of right now. I mean, like you can actually, so a lot of customers tell us that we are very strong with reporting in the product, and the reason is that we have spent a lot of time on thinking about the reporting part. And the reason is a lot of decision making on to launch or not to launch is taken by the CTO. Although I think the QA team should have a stake on the table over there because they have the real insight into the quality of the product, and they should be able to advise CTO based on the data that, okay, we have like 5 modules, but like 2 of them have like these kind of issues, and we shouldn't really launch. Definitely, we should not launch those 2 modules. But that kind of information needs to go between the QA heads and the CTOs or the CIOs. And that's where we think that the product has a value, and we have been able to generate a lot more value for these kind of conversations.
So what kind of users will be the ideal user for this product?
Testing teams. So testing teams who are engaged in any sort of testing activity for their products and their projects, no matter what the size is, what the scale of the company is. I mean, we have small teams, literally like 1 user, and we have like Fortune 500 using the product as well. So the scale is infinite in my opinion in that sense, anybody can use it. And as long as you see that testing is a process and it needs to be managed like a process, not as an ad hoc process thing. I would not even call it a process actually. It's just like ad hocism in my opinion. It needs to be managed thoroughly as a process. You should have some sort of a test management tool in your testing team.
What if the client come to you and then they have a lot of different sheets or different platforms they're using? How do you integrate them to your system?
So we have a few out-of-the-box integrations, and then we also have integrations available that we can build for the customers. I mean, sometimes customers come and they say we want a specific type of information to flow between 2 systems, and we build their integration, which is very customized for them. But typically we have like 15 or 20 integrations that are already there. Then we also enable them through data migration. We offer, because their data could be in Excel files. Sometimes if these are like big customers, they already have some systems in place where they are storing their test cases, their defects, their requirements, and they want us to migrate them to the system. So they have a complete comprehensive overview of the projects and the data in that project. So we do that as well. So it depends on what customer, at what level the customer is, what kind of system they have in place, what kind of information flow is there between their dev team versus their testing team versus external vendors, for example. So we cater to that kind of a situation then.
So Fortune 500 is using your product, and about the security, they must care a lot. How about that?
Yeah, so I mean, like we have invested a lot of money. I mean, like one thing I've done as a product owner is to be very focused on 2-3 pillars. One is the performance pillar, where we every month, every 2 months, we focus on the performance testing side of the product. The second part is the security one, because without security, without the right data security in place, no big enterprise or no big customer is going to buy the product, because their security teams will evaluate you. They will ask you certain questions, and you have to provide that kind of evidence that you are ensuring different levels of compliance. So these two things I have taken very critically throughout our product lifecycle. No matter what the product was doing, we were very focused on these two pillars all the time, because without this is not really gonna grow even, like if you don't have these two things in place.
And AI is really hot right now. Do you use AI in your product?
Yeah, so I mean, like we have been building AI oriented features for like a year and a half now almost. We have like quite a few things which AI can enable a tester to do. For example, we have test case creation where you can generate test cases. We also have test case execution where AI can execute those test cases. And like I see this as a thing that testing has also transitioned overall. I mean, like first we would talk about, I would say first the era was like manual testing era, right? I mean, like everything was done like manually by people, like they were doing it themselves. Then came the automation era. Like everything was just like, we should automate. Don't worry, just automate, right? Which is a wrong strategy in any case. But the third one is the AI era, right? So the AI era is where I think a lot of the stuff will be done using AI tools. You call it AI agents, you call them AI processes, whatever you want to call them. But this is an AI era now. So more and more testing teams will benefit from this, in my opinion. I think people should not be scared. They should be very happy that AI era is here now, because testing teams have always been understaffed, underserved, under-resourced. That's all. That's what I know about this part. This is what 15 years of testing has taught me. And I think with AI, the same team can create an output of like double the output itself. I think there was a Gartner study about like, they spoke to some CIOs and CTOs, and they said like 43% of them believe that their testing teams have improved output now because of this AI thing, right? And I firmly believe that this is the case, because even in our product, people are buying AI features, right? So we see them being utilized. They're using AI credits, and they're using AI to generate test cases. They're using AI to execute test cases. So I see that trend in the product too. So in my opinion, I think this is the best time to be a tester even, in that sense.
How do you design your AI tool? Like, what's the database, original raw data, right? Because to be able to call an AI to do the testing, there needs to be a certain quality of your data, right? So
we have in the past written a lot of test cases, which we had to do a lot of cleanup on, basically, because you cannot train it on that kind of data. It needs to be slightly generalized. It cannot be very specific to a specific product or the project. It needs to be very generalized. We tried that model. That worked out a bit, but then we worked a lot on the prompting part of it as well. Then what are we sending it as a question to the LLM at the back end, right? And what kind of LLM are we using? So not all LLMs, by the way, are a good fit for our kind of need. So we do a lot of research on that part. I mean, like I think we're using like 3 or 4 LLMs depending on the feature we are talking about. And that is something that we have spent a lot of time and money on. And we are constantly doing research, constantly doing the upgrades, constantly identifying new areas through which we can intervene with AI and create a use case which is valuable for the end user. And of course, that sometimes means that we have to rethink which LLM we are using right now, for example.
Mm-hmm. And like, how do you see the AI function is getting bought like more and more, or like?
It is being used a lot more, and people are buying it more as well. And I think it will slowly pick up more and more, because as people will see more value from it, they will engage more in using this feature, like the AI feature specifically speaking. So I think it's getting there now.
Product has been there since 5 years. Like once the client onboarded with you, how often they reach out to you for support, or not even? They just have. Like,
We prefer that we enable them well enough that they don't have to reach back out for any support. I mean, sometimes they do get back to us with something, like for example, sometimes they delete your data, but somebody makes a mistake somewhere.
Intern.
Somebody in some intern, So they will ask us, can you restore the data for us? So I mean, like these kind of things come in, but typically when they're on the platform, they're pretty stable, they're pretty happy, and they don't really come back in terms of these kind of queries. And it's only when it's a renewal time that they come back.
And how many languages do you support?
Our product right now supports like 10 or 12 languages actually. We have quite a few European languages. Then we have Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, Chinese. So a bunch of languages that we support actually.
Yeah, and you have the client in each different regions, kind of.
Our clients are, I think, in more than like 60 to 70 countries, or maybe even more than like 80, 90 countries actually right now. I mean, like, because some of the clients, their teams are also geographically dispersed, So we have a customer who has like 500 team members, and they're like in like 30 or 40 countries. So that's how it is geographically dispersed, and that's why we see a lot of traction from different markets, because then these guys who are working for these companies over there, they have this word of mouth, so they talk to their peers and they talk to their friends over there. And that's how we get a lot of customers actually.
How to start a free trial? Like, should we write email to you?
Just sign up.
Just sign up?
Just sign up and that's it. Get started.
How many users can I add on?
Oh, so it depends on the tier. I mean, if you talk about, so we have like two tiers. One is the free forever, which is free for 3 people. And they can use forever basically. But anybody who is above that, they can sign up for a paid tier, and you can have like as many people sign up as part of your paid tier evaluation. It could be like 20 people evaluating the product, and it's for like 2 weeks. And then you can decide if you have any questions. You can set up a demo. The team can also give you a walkthrough on the product. They can also tell you like what features to explore. You can also ask them, this is the process we are using right now, how does it map to our product basically, So because at the end of the day, we are not selling features, we are selling what you are doing right now. How can you do it better with the product?
And is there any installment fee or any fee?
So we have like, there is no hidden fee. We have just one installation fee, which is for on-prem customers. But that's about it. Everything else is transparently mentioned on the website in terms of pricing. We have no hidden costs. I mean, like that's one thing that I really hate myself. So everything is out there, it's listed, and we have calculator over there too. You can actually know the pricing of the licenses. And if there is something that you want to know, you can always write to us.
Okay, so just sign up.
Yep, sign up.
Okay.
Get started basically.
Yeah, sounds like a great product. I'm gonna try it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Love to have your feedback.
Thank you.